Man, look at all that rubber coming off.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel. I got a nice baby blue e-bike I'm sitting on right now. This is the Bluvall K10 Trail. It's a badass bike. It has 2 motors, 2 batteries. I mean, it has a lot going on for it, and somehow they gave me a $400 discount code, which blows my mind on how they can give me such a huge discount code. So act fast, because I don't think it's gonna be for more than 50 people. But before you go in the description or the comments looking for that code, let's see if this bike is worth it by the end of this video. I'm gonna run through some of the tests. Let's go over some of the specs really quick, take it out for a spin, and at the very end of the video, I'll tell you guys if you should buy it or not, then go buy it. So without further ado, let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk about the power of this bike. So it's 52 volt, 2 motors. You can see the one that we have up front. Then we have another one in the back. These are both 750 watt motors, which brings this bike up to 28 miles an hour per what their website says. Technically it goes over 35 miles an hour, but don't tell anybody. Now that you know we're gonna be flying down the road, it's nice that this bike comes with dual batteries so we can get the range out of this bike along with those 2 motors we got pushing. The bottom one is 23 amp hours and the top one is 20, which gives us 43 amp hours in total. They say on the website you can get about 120 miles of range. That's if you ride really slow. Realistically though, you're gonna cut that in half if you use the throttle all the time. Now, because we're getting a lot of range out of this bike, I'm really hoping it's comfortable. It does have full suspension. I do like that up top we do have a compression adjustment on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side we have a preload adjustment. However, when I looked in the back, it's a 1,000-pound-inch spring back here, so I don't think that's gonna be ideal for a light rider, maybe heavy riders. It is big enough for 2 people. However, there are no pegs in the back, but I guess we're just gonna have to see how a 163-pound rider feels riding this thing. I guess if we had to, you can always just replace that spring with something cheap on Amazon that's like 40 to 60 bucks. Next on the list, look at these handlebars. Look at everything on here. There is a lot going on. So we're gonna start on the left-hand side. You got some cheap rubber grips right here. They do have a palm rest. Not a huge fan of these. A lot of bikes come with them because they're super cheap, but I would get some cheap ones on Amazon, maybe 10 to 20 bucks. I love that you have a dedicated headlight button right here. Also, the hydraulic brakes, we haven't even talked about the brakes yet, but I do like that it has this adjustment right here. So if you want to get a good feel for your brakes, you can tighten it or loosen it to get your preference. And then moving back over here, you got turn signals underneath that headlight switch. You also have a horn button right here. This red button is to activate the front motor, so that'd be dual motor, or you just run in the rear if you just want to be in the rear wheel drive. Over here is our pedal assist, our power button right there. That's going to turn on the display. It comes with this phone mount, but mine was snapped off and broken, but I'm not going to use it. I just wanted to show that it does come with one. One of the main reasons I actually put that on to begin with is because I noticed when I was looking at my cables, there was one plug that just wasn't connected to anything, and that's because it goes to the phone holder. So if you want to charge your phone, this is really cool, but if you don't, you're going to have an open plug and you're just going to have to hide it somewhere in here. Moving on back, we have a 7-speed by Shimano. You do have a key ignition right here. That won't turn the bike on though. You still have to come over here and hold the power button. And you're gonna see it's a nice color display. It looks really good at night or during the day. And next to that key, you do have a half twist throttle and the same grip you had on the other side, just cut in half. So now that we have the bike on, I say we check out the headlight and the brake light. All right, so it's nice and dark in here. I got one light above me just so I can at least see something, right? So what's cool about this bike is it functions like some other bikes that if you do hit the brakes, they still work even if your headlight system is not on. And what's cool is there's no long button press to get this headlight to turn on. You boom, just flip the switch, your brake light comes on, your headlight comes on, and when you do push the brakes, they still get brighter and they look really bright. You also have turn signals as well. The front turn signals to me look really bright. They look really good. They're sequential. The back ones are also sequential. However, they don't look the best. They're still, you know, visible, but they're not as visible as I'd like them. They're not super bright, but the front ones are absolutely amazing. And the headlight also looks amazing as well. So you guys are gonna have to subscribe and like this video so you can come back and find this channel, because a lot of you guys are not subscribed, and I'm gonna be doing a night video on this thing. So our second video is gonna be at night. So this is all you're gonna see of the lights, but so far I'm decently impressed. Oh, the next thing we got is right underneath the turn signals is our horn. Ooh, man, that is loud. Coming from that front headlight, man, it's really loud in the garage. One thing that worries me about this bike is it's gonna feel really heavy because it has 2 batteries and 2 motors. And yeah, it does feel bulky in the rear and the front. This thing is around 110 pounds, so it's actually not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be, but it is still more on the heavier side of e-bikes. And I know you guys already saw me sitting on the bike, but let me show you guys really quick. I'm 5'9", and I can barely put my feet down, so if you're probably under 5'6", I don't think this is gonna be a bike for you. One thing I give Bluvall points for is they give you 2 chargers, because you have 2 batteries, you get 2 chargers. Some bikes that come with dual batteries actually only give you 1 battery charger, so it's kind of nice you get 2. Looking at the back of it, it's 3 amps, so depending on what battery you're charging, because one's 20 amp hour, the other one's 23, it's gonna take you about 6 to 8 hours to charge these batteries. Now, one con I do have about this bike is the mess of the cable management. There's nothing to hide all these cables. There's cables everywhere on this bike. It's not a clean, sleek bike like how some of them are that run the cables in the frame. Because if you come down here, you can see all the cables. Maybe you can tighten this up a little bit, but again, they are still ran on the outside of the frame. They are not hidden inside a tube in the frame. So that's unfortunate. They go all over the place. And because we have 2 motors, 2 batteries, we even have a plug for this phone mount right here. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I wish the cable management was a little better. So I know we said this bike has hydraulic brakes, but I didn't look at the rotors, and they're 180 millimeters. It's DY Island hydraulic brakes. I've never had an issue with these, so I think they should perform pretty good. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this, but these tires are puncture resistant, so they should hold up to some thorns and light stuff that's gonna get stuck in it. All right, so that should be everything you guys need to know about this bike. Now we gotta take it out for a spin and see if all the cool features this bike has and the price point they're selling this thing at $1,400 with my discount code. Is it worth it when I take it out on the road? So let's go. All right, so we're gonna need to take this off so we can see. There we go, beautiful display. All right, so it's pretty comfortable on a solid road so far. Not too bad, especially with these fat tires on here. I don't feel like it's uncomfortable. I'm a little curious to see when we do go off-road with this rear shock. I'm really curious to see how it's gonna feel, but for now, it doesn't feel that bad. So right now, I'm gonna ride this bike with 1 motor, and it's gonna be the rear motor. If I do hit this, it definitely will go a lot faster, but right now we're in pedal assist 1, so it's gonna keep us at 17 or 16 miles an hour. If we bump it up to 2, let's see how fast it takes us up to. All right, about 20 to 21 miles per hour. You bump it up into 3, and about 24 miles an hour. Mode 4 brings us up to about 26 miles an hour. And mode 5, it gave us around 28 miles an hour with a single motor, but I ran out of road back there. All right, so now I'm gonna turn on the front motor, and let's see how fast this thing picks up speed and our top speed now. 1, 2, 3. God dang. Burnout for days over here. Oh, that's awesome. We're already doing pretty much 30 miles an hour. That was quick. Now what's our top speed? All right, looks about 32 miles an hour. I was expecting to get a little tiny bit more out of it, especially with having 2 motors. So that's a little slower than I thought, but it's still a higher top speed than most bikes. So 33 miles an hour right there. I think they mean it hits about 35 because this says 34 and a half. So if you're lighter than me, you're probably gonna get a little bit more speed out of this bike, but I'm getting about 32 to 33 miles an hour. Now, something I always notice when you get bikes that have a front motor, you have a lot more weight on the front. So it's not as smooth as a bike that just has a motor in the back. So when you let off with one hand, it definitely gets a little shaky. And that's not because the tire is unbalanced and anything like that. It's just the weight. You gotta make sure you have weight on the front, or it will just kind of hop all over the place. Oh dang, we have cruise control on this bike. I didn't know that. We're still moving. That's cool. That's a feature I did not know we had, so that's awesome. I could just be sitting here relaxing. And when hitting the brakes, it gets rid of our power. We're gonna use our turn signal to pull into this neighborhood. Holy moly. Whoa, with that front motor on, you hit it in the turn, man. That thing lost traction a little bit for me. So be a little careful when riding this bike, man. Oh man, that was a trip. It's been a while since I've been on a dual motor e-bike, so it's just a different type of feel and a different type of riding. But what's great about these bikes is when you go off-road or you gotta go up a bunch of hills, that's where these bikes shine. It's not really on the street. You wanna just probably keep it in a single motor for the street, unless you wanna ride at top speed all the time. But it's really for off-roading and getting through a lot of stuff and going up massive hills. Now here's something I'm interested to test out is how it does a roundabout, because we got that weight in the front. And yeah, I gotta say, I mean, It doesn't turn as great as all these other bikes do. It's definitely, whoa, it's definitely a weird feeling. Oh man, this bike is an animal down low. It has torque for days. Whoa, holy crap. Man, look at all that rubber coming off. I think the problem with this bike is that there is no weight on the front other than that front motor. And it just, you sit so far back on the bike, you're basically sitting over this tire, and this will just pill out for days. It's crazy. Oh my God, that's nuts. And the bike is going by itself. I don't know if this is cruise control or not, but I am not doing this, and it is still getting up to speed, so I will take it. Oh, that is pretty funny that I am not messing around with the throttle. Cruise control is when you hold a certain speed for a while, like 7 seconds or something like that. This is just going on its own, but I'm okay with it. What the heck? What are you doing, man? I don't know what people are thinking when I'm over here on a bike. You just stop in the middle of the road. All right, we're coming up to some bumps real quick. I'm gonna see if I come out of my seat. True test right here. Oh yeah, no, it definitely came out of my seat. The good thing is this seat is very comfortable, but the suspension definitely needs to be upgraded. It is, it is way too stiff for a light rider like me. Next, we're gonna test out the brakes right at that blue fire hydrant right here. We're gonna reach about class 3 e-bike. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Whoa, man, all right. The brakes feel absolutely fantastic. I love that you can adjust them right here to get them to feel how you want, so they can either come really far out or closer to the grips. I was expecting a lot worse because I felt like I slid so far, but actually that's not bad. I've had a few bikes end up over here, so yeah, I'm impressed with that. The brakes feel really good. They're really responsive and they feel solid. They don't feel squishy at all. And again, just come over here and adjust them and get them right where you want them. All right, now let's go off-road. Whoa, buddy. Calm it down, calm it down. Man, you better be pretty careful with this bike, especially in turns and gravel and sand and stuff like that. Definitely get yourself in some trouble, and make sure you remember the cruise control, because you will just keep on going. I'm going to put it in single motor until we get to the hill climbing test. I really want to see how well this is going to do in a single motor, and when you activate the front motor and have both motors going at the same time. One thing to bring up is that this bike feels like it wants to go faster when you have a single motor activated. So you can feel it pushing you back and forth. The power comes on, the power comes off. It's like a back and forth motion within like half a second, and you can feel the bike going like this. It's not very fun to feel, but it's just because it wants to go faster and it's just limiting itself. Anyways, we are here at the hill test, and we're gonna see how this does on single motor. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, that is not fast at all. I mean, it's only a 750 watt motor, and we have 2 batteries and 2 motors on here, so definitely pushing a lot of weight. 110 pounds to be exact, which surprisingly is actually pretty light for something like this. The frame isn't that bulky, so they were able to save some of the weight, but it's definitely heavier than a regular e-bike that just has 1 motor and 1 battery. All right, we're gonna activate the front motor. Now this should be an interesting test. Here we go. Whoa, 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 oh man, oh man. Loss of traction, 17 miles an hour. Okay, I gotta do that again and lean far forward. Whoa, whoa, easy bike, easy bike. Oh, come on, I got most of my weight on the front, come on. Come on, you can do it. More than 17 miles an hour, let's go, come on. Oh, the same. I leaned as far forward as I could. Let's hit this little jump real quick. Woo! That suspension gave me a little pop off the ground. Here, do it again. Oh yeah, the suspension is real springy, so it definitely like lifted me up. So far as riding, my hands kind of hurt. They're really like red and everything like that. It's because these grips just don't feel that great. So you definitely want to have some gloves when riding this bike, or switch out the grips for something else that feel more comfortable on your hands, because these are just really rock solid rubber. They don't really move. They actually feel like plastic. Not a huge fan. Let's see how it does the bridge test. Oh yeah. The good thing is the handlebars are short, but I still had enough room to put my phone up here. Most bikes with short handlebars, you don't have room for anything. So I like the fact that I'm still able to get my phone up here. Because we did some speed tests on the street, I want to see how a speed test is with 2 motors in the dirt. I don't think it's going to go well, but I thought it'd be pretty fun to do. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Whoa, come on! Come on! All right, we gained traction at about 17, 18 miles an hour. So that might make sense why when we were going up that hill, obviously we're at an angle too, but we were unable to get traction the whole entire time going up that thing. So the next thing I want to test out are the gears, because we actually have a Shimano 7-speed on here. So let's get into the pedaling. Shift some gears. Power comes on nice and gradual and smooth. I do have both motors on, and that took off really nice. Let's do that again. We're in 6. There's a huge delay though. There is a massive delay between the pedals and it giving you power, but it's nice and smooth. It's not sketchy at all. And then gear number 7. And this feels okay. Now, it's not the best bike to pedal, I gotta say. The seat placement and the pedals and how they are, these are definitely long cranks. I can see the crank arms. They come really close to the ground, and it actually feels like it's slightly out of reach for me. So if you're about 5'6", 5'7", I don't think you're gonna like pedaling this bike. I think your feet are gonna be too short. But I think this bike is gonna be for people that are starting at 5'9", and which I am, up to about 6'2" or 6'3". I think you guys won't have any issues if you're 6 foot tall. And here's the difference if you start using the pedals. Nice gradual power, is not pilling out. Very calm. That's a nice safety thing too, because if you're at a stoplight and you accidentally rotate the pedals, you don't want it to give you all the power possible, and then you drop your bike or fall off of it or something like that. So I actually kind of like what they did there. I'm pretty sure you can go into the settings and probably change the sensitivity of the pedals to give it more aggressive or a slower start. I like a slower start. That's where I would leave it at. So if I was you, I wouldn't mess around with that setting. Let's see how our horn works. That guy looked, so it's definitely loud, and I wasn't even like holding it. I was just barely tapping it. Yeah, that's definitely a pretty decently loud horn, even though it's not a real horn, just a little beep, but I'll take it. Well, so far, our battery bars are still full. We haven't lost a single battery. When I was on the power, we did lose one under throttle, but yeah, I'm not noticing anything. So what I wanted to see is if we have voltage on here. Nothing. Okay, just max speed and everything like that. So the bike does say it went 35.9 miles an hour, but yeah, I can't get to anything. Oh, here we go, here we go. Voltage, yes, cool, 55.3 volts. Awesome. More burnouts, more burnouts. Let's dip off here. Oh yeah, went through that like nothing. The front suspension, I gotta tell you, is really good. It's nothing crazy to wow about, but I mean, it's nice and comfortable for me. The back though, it really does need to be replaced. If you do a lot of off-roading and jumping and all stuff like that, then definitely replace it. But if you're just on the road, it's perfectly fine. If you do hit a pothole, you might slightly come out of your seat, but the seat is so comfortable that I have no issues with how it rides. My only thing is that bikes that have a motor in the front, you definitely can't let your hands off and feel more comfortable and stable when just kind of cruising and wanting to take a break with your hands. Obviously we have cruise control, which is nice, but when I take one hand off, look how bouncy that suspension is. It's all over the place, and that is gonna be catastrophic if I do hit a pothole at the same time when doing that. So I feel like I always just have to have my hands on the bike. So that's another reason why dual motor e-bikes are cool, but they also have some downsides. I see a little shortcut. No dumping private property. Whoa, oh, whoa! Holy crap. They're gonna kick me out, watch. They're gonna kick me out. I just wanna take a shortcut to this other neighborhood, that's all. Woo, we're definitely jamming in the dirt. Oh man, it handles these rocks very well too. No issues with the rocks. Now I guess we should test it out on some bumps that are on this road. Here we go. I don't know what they did to the street, but it is just messed up the heck. I would hate to live in front of all. Ooh, ow, ow. Okay, yeah, it's, it is not handling those bumps very well. Yeah, I'm not feeling too comfortable with that. All right, well, overall, I feel like we went through a lot of stuff. The turning radius is decent on this bike. That's something I didn't say yet. It's IP water resistant, so you can take this out in the rain, but you obviously don't want to go through a massive puddle or submerge it in water or anything like that. The batteries are certified, so you don't have to worry about fires on those. You get 2 keys. You get one for this, you get one for that, so technically 4 keys in total, just in case you lose one to either one of these batteries. And you also have these keys, so technically you have 6 keys in total on this. I left them at the house because I'm not going to take take these batteries off. You don't need any of the keys on the batteries to run this bike. You just need the key in the ignition to turn it on and off. You can also turn it off over here if you want. And so far on my phone, we have done 9.2 miles, and it shows that I am 1 battery bar down from the top. Now it's up. It keeps going back and forth. But we can go off a voltage, and my voltage says 54.7, 54.8 volts, which to me sounds like really good range. And then when I do get on the power, it goes down to about 53 volts. So I gotta say, that's not bad for having a voltage sag of about 1 to 1.5 volts. It's nice to have dual batteries on a bike like this. And the range is gonna be excellent as well. Okay, so now that you have made it to the end of this video, is this bike worth it or not? And I'm gonna say that yes, for $1,400 with my discount code, it definitely is. Not at the original price, not at over $1,500. At $1,400, it's not too bad. The range is the biggest thing you're gonna get out of this bike, and the speed. 32, 33 miles an hour is good for most people. And again, if you're lighter, you're gonna go probably a little bit faster. Just be careful with that front wheel because it wants to spin out and pull you everywhere, especially if you're in the middle of a turn or something like that. Be a little bit careful on getting on the throttle. But I wanna tell you guys, even though the bike is worth it to me, the components, don't expect anything high quality. You're not paying $3,000 or $4,000 for a bike, so don't expect it to have the best quality performance. This is just an entry-level bike to get 2 motors, 2 batteries, a shit ton of range so you and your buddies can go ride with your friends, and you'll be the one not worrying. You might be this person towing someone back home or hiking them on the back even though you don't have pegs on this thing. And I mean, what else could you ask for? I mean, it has turn signals, it has a nice display, half twist throttle, it has gears on it, you got pedals for legal reasons, a nice comfortable seat. The only suggestion is I would definitely replace that rear spring right here. You can find them on Amazon. I don't know exactly which ones are gonna fit. You're gonna have to measure that and everything like that. But if you're a heavier person, you actually might like that. But if you're a very light person and lighter than me, you're not going to like how that feels. It's definitely bumpy when you do hit some potholes. But overall, I mean, it stops safely. The tires made it feel comfortable. You do have some adjustments up on the front. The bike is definitely louder than most bikes that just have 1 motor, but however, it's definitely quieter than these mini bikes that are going around that have actual chains and mid-drives. So if you wanna still be quieter, this is the one to do. I don't think this is the cleanest looking bike. Obviously, you can get this in black and a few different other colors, but the cable management makes this bike look pretty cheap. That's what I'm gonna say. So I don't know, it's up to you if you guys wanna buy it. That's just my feedback. And if you want to act fast, I think the first 50 people are going to be able to save $400 off of this bike. So if you've been looking for this in particular with 2 batteries, 2 motors, and you like how it is with all the features it comes with, then this might be the bike for you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are the true VPs for sticking around. I'm gonna go inside. It's a heat advisory warning today. I am burning up. But make sure you guys come back for part number 2 where we continue our range test, and we're also going to be checking out these lights at night. So it's gonna be a night ride. It's gonna be super fun. So I'll see you guys in the second one.